Alright guys, so we're back with another Discord JS video. So in this video I'm going to show you guys how to properly secure your token, because right now my token is just like over here. Like if I were to screen share, or if I were to send someone my bot.js file, they would see this token. Let's just say, for example, if I need someone to debug something for me and I want to send them my entire file, right? Obviously, you do not want to send them your file including your token, because if they see your token and if they have, if they're, if they have any malicious intent, they can take your token and compromise your bot and do whatever they want with it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to actually secure your token. I'm going to show you two different ways. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to get rid of this. I'm going to delete this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and create a folder called config. Okay, you'll see this quite often if you're a more advanced developer. You'll see a lot of people in large projects or even just smaller scale projects. They'll create a folder called config, which has information about the environment, things like database connections or the bot tokens or any API keys. Okay, you typically want to keep it inside a private folder. Okay, and what you want to do is you're going to create a file. We're going to call this config.json. And what I'm going to do is first I'm going to go ahead and just regenerate the token, copy it, and I'm going to go ahead and create a JSON object by using curly braces. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and say Discord underscore bot, and this is going to have information about the Discord bot. Okay, now typically what I could do is I could just literally type token and then set that equal to our bot token like this. But again, this config.json file can have information about a bunch of other things too. So I want to be organized. So I'm going to say Discord underscore bot, and this is going to map to an object. Okay, and inside this object we're going to have token, and we're going to set the value of that property to the bot token. Okay, so don't worry, I'm going to keep all of my code in my GitHub repository. I'm actually going to create a GitHub repository and put all the code in there, so don't worry so much about it. So you guys can just copy and paste this configuration. Obviously you need to replace the bot token. Okay, and yeah, that's pretty simple. And of course we can do other things too. Let's say, for example, if I wanted to add other configurations, I can do so by saying nickname some bot, for example, right? You can do whatever you want. Okay, but for now we're just going to leave it just with the token. So I'm going to exit out of that config.json file. Now the question is, how do I actually reference this bot token, right? Because obviously I don't want to just paste my bot token inside my bot.js file. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to import this config.json file, and to do that we're just going to use the require function. So I'm going to go ahead and say const config equals require / so I'm passing in the relative path to the config folder, and I'm gonna type in config, and that should be it. Okay, so you don't have to actually type in the full .json extension, because what's going to happen is it's going to look for the .js file first, but obviously we don't have any .js file in here. If you did have a .js file, you would have to specify .json, but since we only have one file, we can just leave it like this. It will look for the .json file. Node knows exactly what to look for. Okay, so we can require it, and now what I can do is I can say config I can reference the Discord underscore bot property from the JSON object. So pretty much when we require a JSON file, it'll pretty much automatically parse everything for us, so we can reference it like an actual JSON object. So I can say config.discordbot.token. Okay, and now if I save that, and actually if I just console.log it just to show you guys how it works. Okay, if I save it and if I type node bot.js, you're gonna see the token is being logged to the console, and you can see our bot is actually logged in. I'm on my own Discord server, but you can see our bot is logged in. Perfect. Okay, cool. So that's one way that you can secure your bot token. Another way they can secure it is by using what's called an environment variable. Okay, so so let's just say, for example, you don't want to use a JSON file. Okay, again, it's not a bad thing to use a JSON file, but I do recommend using environment variables. So there are a couple ways you can set this up. Okay, you can either set up an environment variable on your system, okay? Or you can just use a Node.js module called .env. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and install it using npm. So we're going to say npm install, or just npm i.env. Okay, this is going to install a third-party module for you. Okay, now you're going to see in the package.json file, every single time you install a dependency, it's going to be listed down over here. Okay. When we get to deploying our bot to, let's say, Heroku or AWS, you'll understand why we need this package.json file. But for now, don't worry so much about it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create a .env file. And I'm just going to go ahead and create a variable. This is an environment variable. And I'm going to just copy that bot token from over here. And I'm going to set the value of this variable to this. I'm going to set this variable to the value of our bot token, which is this. I'm going to save it. And what I'm going to do is, instead of importing this config.json file, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and say require .env, and I'm going to call the config function that's part of that module. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say process. So I'm going to reference the global process object. I'm referencing the .env property, and I'm going to say bot_token, the name of my variable right over here. Whatever I name this variable, that's the name that we're going to reference over here. Okay, so pretty much this allows you to access environment variables. So if you have a bunch of environment variables, you can use process.env to reference it. We only have one for now, so we're just going to save that. And if I console.log it too, you're going to see that if I save, and if I run the bot again, you're going to see it gets logged to the console and our bot is still online. So this is two different ways that you can secure your bot token and make sure that you know, it's not exposed inside any of your script files. Okay, you keep it either stored as a environment variable or a config.json file. Okay, obviously environment variables are much better because when you are deploying to, let's say, Heroku also allows you to use environment variables. So you can just set the variable on different systems and you don't have to worry so much about changing it between here and there. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So that's pretty much it for this video. I just wanted to show you guys how to actually secure your bot token. In the next video, we're actually going to start interacting with the Discord.js API. Well, I mean, we're going to actually, you know, have the bot response messages and do certain things. Okay, so I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.